Yo, it's Jason. I feel bad because I just made a Dark World structure deck profile and I'm already changing it. But I've played it now and I've definitely revised the deck differently. So it's not my most optimal build. I gotta find my Danger Chupacabra, which is somewhere around here, at least one of them. So, start out, we got three Rainbow over King of the Dark World. This is just pretty much self-explanatory. You want three of him, and then three Grapham. Again, self-explanatory. You want three of him, and then we got three Genta. Now you might be saying Genta, that's kind of a lot. Maybe two is better, but excuse me. I I feel like it's a better way to search the field spell than Snow. You don't really want to be using Snow to search the field spell, where you can be extending farther with Snow, and it's a level 4. So if you do special summon it, it's got that going for it, which I'll show you when I get to the extra deck why that's important. Three Snow. Snow just searches any Dark World, so yeah, self-explanatory. And then again, three Brow, just extra draw, help you extend, self-explanatory. Beige is at 2. I don't remember what I had it at before, but it's a level 4, and getting his effect off multiple times just helps you extend further. So yeah, he's great. 2 is perfect. One Parl, you really don't want to see a turn 1, but it's any monsters in your grave that are Dark World, it'll help him get him out of there that you can't get out of there in one way or another. So very good. Then moving on to dangers, we got Danger Bigfoot. Not really the best to get turn 1, but not the end of the world. You'll at least have a 50-50 of being the discard, if not better odds of discarding what you want rather than him. But if it's not, it's pretty good to you want this card because it'll help. It'll basically Grapho when it's discarded, destroys a card on the field. So yeah, pretty good as far as dangers go. I bumped Mothman up to 3 mainly because he's a level 4 and he has the best discard effect. If he's discarded, you draw one and discard one. So he's basically an extender. If only he was a fiend. Like I said, I should run 2 Chupacabra, but I'm looking for them. Um, in their place, we got 2 Danger Thunderbird, mainly because it destroys a set card, but don't really want to see it turn 1 because if it's discarded, it destroys a set card that they don't have. So it's basically a whiff, which is what you don't want. And then Danger Nessie, mainly because of Danger Nessie's effectually strong and it's a good beefy defender. It's got weird stars though at 7, so if anything, it's a little bit bricky, but not too bricky. It's less bricky than Thunderbird. Um, and yeah, that's basically the monster lineup as of now. So moving on to the spells, we got Dark World Puppetry. You just want to get that in the graveyard to banish. I've moved Dark World Archives from 3 down to 1, mainly because it's not as great as I thought it was. It's basically a win harder card, so you don't want to be drawing it turn 1. So yeah, and then 1 Called by the Grave just to get around that Ash if you get it turn 1. That's what you want to be drawing turn 1 rather than the other cards, which is why I put it in here. Moving on, we got 3 Gates of the Dark World, just great extender, great field spell. Almost good enough to run terraforming, but not quite. 3 Dark World Dealings. I really underestimated this card, mainly didn't realize it's such a great extender and that you definitely want to run 3 of them and not 0 like I was doing before. And the same thing goes for this one. 3 Drag Down by the grave into the grave. Just knowing what your opponent's playing, can help you set up turn 1 to have a board capable enough to keeping you alive in the next turn, as I'll show this what the strategy is. Definitely the information is way better than the extension, but the extension is also good. You have to use it at the right time. This is a card that you really have to think about. You can't just throw it out turn 1. You're gonna have to be setting it. You're gonna have to be using it at the right time. You the times you don't want your opponent to know what you're doing, and the times when you do want your opponent to know what they're doing. So it's definitely a very hard card to play, but definitely you want to be playing 3 of those. And yeah, 3 Dark World Ascension, because making the fusion monsters what this deck wants to do, and any way it could do it is bueno. So moving on to traps, we got 3 Skill Drain because this is a TCG deck. So yeah, I can run 3 Skill Drain, and that's very good. Mainly because monsters you want the graveyard effects to go off when they're discarded, and that isn't negated by Skill Drain. So yeah, you want to run 3. You're not really worried about your on-field effects because you don't have any. They're just stationary on effect. They're beaters. So the only one that has an field effect is your fusion, which again, if you have the fusion on field, you probably don't want to activate Skill Drain. But this is again just yeah, it's hard to say when it's going to be good and when it's going to be bad. So yeah. Moving on, the last 3 cards, Dark World Punishment, just a really good negation, very good. And extender, especially if you're going second. It stinks that it's a trap, but yeah, I like the negation, and guaranteeing your fusion spell goes off is kind of very good. Moving on to the extra deck, of course, we got 3 Graphic Dragon Lords. This is what you want to make. It's what you want to get to. It's what you want to sit on your field and just annoy your opponent with control. And then to help you get there, I feel like Baguska is very good. That's why I'm running the level 4. So you want to get a Baguska as like a plan B. Like, oh, I can't fully extend to where I want to this turn, but I could set up a Baguska and make it to next turn. Very good. Finally, a use for Baguska. And then I was looking through my cards and I found this little baby, number 60. Number 60 is basically an extender for just 2 level 4s. So yeah, I didn't realize it. It skips your draw phase. Draw 2 cards, discard 1. So he's a graceful charity almost, but like I said, he also helps you extend. Very good. Didn't realize I even had that card until I was looking through my collection. Again, didn't find Danger Chupacabra, but found number 60. Equal trade. And then finally, Hope Harbinger, because Hope Harbinger could just keep you alive 1 turn. If you look at their hand and what they're playing with, with Drag Down to the Grave, sometimes Hope Harbinger is all you'll need to stick on the board, and it's not always better than going into the fusion. 9 times out of 10, I'll be rather going into the fusion, but that's 1 out of 10 times where it makes a difference. This is what you'd rather go into, and yeah, it's not bad. So that's pretty much the extra deck. And I was thinking about running Silva, mainly because you have a lot more opportunity to discard through your opponent's effect. But the problem with Silva is every time I've gotten him, it's been mid to late game, which is what you don't want because your opponent's exhausted their hand at this point. So discarding 2 is a whiff, essentially. And yeah, same thing with Guru. He doesn't really extend. People think he extends because he goes to your opponent's side of the field and makes you discard, but it's basically you're giving your opponent a resource to discard a card that might not be the one you want to discard, so it's not that great. And yeah, that's pretty much the Dark World deck as now. trying to find two Chupacabra to replace those Thunderbird. Maybe just take out one of the Thunderbird and add another Chupacabra. But that would put the deck count to 59. It's already at 58. There's a lot of search and extension though, so I really don't think it matters that it's 50 whatever, because it's not slower because of that. It's the only thing that really slows it down, if anything, are the negation traps, because they're traps, and those can be easily taken out. If you don't want to run them, just take them out. And yeah, that's my deck. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bricky, but it's not as bricky as it used to be, and I feel a lot more satisfied with this build than my previous build. Running things that just were funny and not really um meta. I mean, this isn't really meta either, but at the same time, if I were to make it meta, it wouldn't be as good, wouldn't be as consistent. This is pretty good and consistent, so I like this build. I'm probably done with Dark Worlds for now. Um, where the next deck I'm thinking about building, I've got Crystal Beast bouncing around from their structure deck that I bought, and I got Fable monsters galore that I want to try out, and good synchros to actually go into them. But again, these decks aren't really meta defining, just stuff I like to play. I never play the meta things anyways, as people know, as you watch this channel, you know that I just run Jinzo and stuff, funny stuff. So, but Jinzo might not be bad with the Trap Trick structure decks coming out, which I'm excited for, because I already have really good Trap Tricks as of now, and all the Trap Hole cards. I have all of them, so can't wait for the new structure deck to come out in January on that. Probably look forward to that video. Merry Christmas to you guys, to my boy Steven and my boy Joe. Merry Christmas to everybody else who watches. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, whatever you want to say. Have a good time. My pagans out there want to take Christ out of Christmas. Happy Saturnalia, whatever. Just everyone have a nice time, and thank you for watching my video. Thank you for letting me waste your time, because that's what I do. And thank you very much. Have a nice day.